Hello all, welcome to Gurukul CAT 100 series, a series designed to take you from your study room to your corporate boardroom. I am Deepak Nemani and this is Daily Quant with Deepak. Hi all, welcome back to day 86 of 100 days to CAT Quant series. In this video, we'll be discussing 5 questions from Quant. So whenever a question is displayed on the screen, pause the video, try solving that question. Once you're done solving, you can resume the video. If you find this video helpful, like the video, share this video with your friends who are preparing for CAT, and most importantly, for more videos of this kind, subscribe to this channel. In case if you want to attempt these 5 questions in the form of a test, you can log into our portal, the gurukul.org.in. The link is already in the description below. Once you click that link, you will get enrolled to a course called 100 Days Race to CAT that has 3 sections: Quant, LRDI, and VRC. We will be uploading 100 tests in each section. So overall, you will get 300 tests to practice and close to 1500 questions, which we consider to be a good amount of practice at the last mile to CAT. Right, and these tests are absolutely for free. And without any further delay, let's get started with the first question. The value of log m by n to the base m plus log n by m to the base n for 2 less than m less than or equal to n cannot be equal to. So we are given with log m by n to the base m plus log n by m to the base n. Right, we should be finding the possible values of this. Right, so log m by n is nothing but log m minus log n. Right, so I'll be writing this as log m to the base m minus log n to the base m plus, similarly I'll be writing this as log n to the base n minus log m to the base n. Now we know that log m to the base m is 1, so this becomes 1 minus log n to the base m plus, similarly log n base n is 1 minus log m to the base m. Now let me assume log n to the base m to be some x. Right, then log m to the base n is nothing but 1 by log n to the base m. Right, so if I consider this as x, this is nothing but 1 by x. Right, so here let me write this as 1 plus 1 is 2 minus log n to the base m, if I consider that to be x, plus log m to the base n will be 1 by x. Right, now this is the value of that expression, log m by n to the base m plus log n by m to the base n. Right, and x is equal to log n base m. Right, so any expression in the form of x plus 1 by x, the minimum value of this, where x belongs to r, x belongs to positive numbers, right, so that will be 2, and this is when x is equal to 1. Right, so that would be the minimum value of this expression. Right, so if I consider the minimum value of x plus 1 by x, we will be getting the maximum value of 2 minus that. Right, now when will this be maximum? When this is minimum. Now what is the minimum value of x plus 1 by x? 2. So the maximum value of 2 minus that would be 0. Right, so all I can say from here is the value of this will be always less than or equal to 0. Right, so that could be minus 0.3, that could be minus 1, that could be 0 as well, but definitely not 1. Hence option B should be the answer to this question. Now coming to the second question, a circle has a radius of 32 meters and its center is at point O. A chord XY passes through 2 points, point M located 12 meters to the south of O and point N located 5 meters to the west of O. What is the length of the chord XY in meters closest to? Right, so we have circle, let that center be O, right? And the radius is given to be 32 meters, and it's a chord XY passes through 2 points, point M located 12 meters to the south of O. Now let me consider this to be south direction, and the distance between M and O is 12 meters. Similarly, point N located 5 meters to the west of O. Right, so if this is south, this becomes west. Right, 5, and we have chord XY passing through these 2 points. Okay, so let this be X, let this be Y. And this is 90 degrees. The angle between any two directions, any two adjacent directions is 90 degrees, right? So if this is 5, this is 12, this should be 13. Now here, to solve this question, all you need to remember is, when you drop a perpendicular from the center to any chord, that bisects the chord, right? So if I drop a perpendicular from O to side MN, right, on the chord x5, this perpendicular bisects the chord, right? And we can find the length of the altitude dropped from O to the base Mn, right? So we can use the area of the triangle. What is the area of a right angle triangle? Half into product of perpendicular sides, 5 into 12, now which is also equal to half into base 13 into the corresponding height, right? So the altitude drawn to base becomes 60 by 13, right? So the length of this side is 60 by 13. Now we are also given with the radius of the circle, so let me join OY and let this point be Z, right? So now OZ Y becomes what? Becomes the right angle triangle, right? We know the length of OZ and OY, which is nothing but the hypotenuse of that right angle triangle, is radius of that circle, right? So we know OZ, we know OY. So to find the length of the chord, all you need to do is you need to find the length of ZY, right? And the length of the chord XY will be twice of that, right? So ZY is equal to under root hypotenuse OY square 32 square 1024 minus 60 by 13 whole square. 60 square is 3600 by 169. Now once you find this value, 2 times of that, 2 into under root 1024 minus 3600 by 169 will give us the answer. Since the values given in the options are pretty much close to each other, I recommend you finding the exact value of this expression, because you are already provided with calculator in the exam, right? So try finding this value, and I remember the answer being option C, 63.32 should be the answer to this question. Now coming to the third question, in a coordinate plane, triangle ABC has its vertices at points A 2, 3, B 14, 3, and C 2, 8. Now what is the radius of the incircle of triangle ABC, right? So whenever you are asked to find the inradius of a triangle, all you need to do is area by semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter is nothing but if ABC are the sides of the triangle, S is given by A plus B plus C by 2, right? So all you need to do is, first thing, you need to find the length of the sides of the triangle, right? So with vertices 2, 3, 14, 3, and 2, 8. Now first let me find the length of side AB. 14 minus 2, 12 square, plus 3 minus 3, 0 square, right? So under root 12 square, 12. Now let me find BC. 14 minus 2, 12 square 144, 8 minus 3 5 square 169, 13. Now let me find AC. AC is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0, 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 square under root 5. So this becomes a right angle triangle now with sides 5, 12 and 13. Now in the case of a right angle triangle, the simple formula to find the inradius of that circle is nothing but semi-perimeter minus hypotenuse. Now what is the semi-perimeter? 12 plus 13 is 25, 25 plus 5 is 30, 30 by 2, 15, minus length of hypotenuse 13. So 2 units becomes the answer to this question. Now coming to the fourth question. In a talent competition, there were 4 finalists competing for the title. Out of the total audience, 70% voted for their favorite performers. Contestant A received 15% of the cast votes, while contestant B, C and D received the remaining votes in the ratio 1 is to 4 is to 2. If the winner received 141 more votes than the contestant with the third highest votes, how many audience members were there in the competition? Key in the number, right? So we have 4 participants, A, B, C and D, right? Now let the total number of audience be 100x, out of which only 70% voted. So 70x. Now out of this 70x, 15% cast their votes to contestant A, right? So 15% of 70x, that will be in decimals. Just to avoid decimals, what I'll do is Instead of considering the total number of audience as 100x, I'll be considering the total number of audience as 200x. I mean, just to avoid decimals, right? So 70% of them, 140x, right, cast their votes, and out of this 140x, 15%, right, cast their votes to contestant A. Now, what is 15% of 140? 10% is 14, 5% is 7, right? So 14 plus 7, 21x. So A got 21x votes in total, right? So you are left out with 119x votes. And these votes were shared by B, C, and D in the ratio 1:4:2. Now 1:4:2. So total we have 7 parts. Now if 7 parts is 119, one part will be 17x, right? So B got 17x votes, C or D got 34x votes, C got 68x votes. Right? Now, if the winner received 141 more votes than the contestant with the third highest votes. Now, C was the winner, second highest votes were received by D, and third highest votes were received by A. Right? So, if the difference between this 68x minus 21x, that is given to be 141. Right? So, this is 47x is 141. So what's the value of x? X is equal to 3. Now once you have the value of x, what was asked? We are asked to find how many audience members were there in the competition. So we have assumed the total audience to be 200x. So 200 into 3, 600 becomes the answer to this question. Now coming to the last question. In a city, 25% of households own a specific type of electronic device. A marketing researcher selects a random sample of 80 households from that city. What is the probability that at least one household in the sample owns the electronic device? So 25% of the households own a specific type of electronic device. So that means 75% does not own that specific type of electronic device. Now, what is the probability of selecting one person who is having that electronic device? 1 by 4, 25 by 100, 1 by 4, right? Similarly, selecting a person who does not have that electronic device would be 3 by 4. Right? Now, what was asked? What is the probability that at least one household in the sample owns the electronic device? Now, at least one household out of the selected 80 households should be having the electronic device. Now, if this is event, what is non-occurrence of that event? Right? Non-occurrence of that event is all 80 households not having that electronic device. Right? Now, what is the probability of one person not having that electronic device? 3 by 4. Right, 2 persons not having that electronic device, 3 by 4 into 3 by 4, because one person doesn't have and the second person also does not have. Whenever you have and, it should be multiplication, right? So first person do not have, second person do not have, and third person do not have, and so on, right? So we should be multiplying 3 by 4 80 times, right? So this becomes 3 by 4 power 80. Now, what are we talking about? These 80 people not having that specific electronic device, which is nothing but the non-occurrence of that event. How do we get the probability of occurrence of that event? 1 minus this, done, right? So 1 minus 0.75 power 80, hence option C should be the answer to this question.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.